about this time.
I'm gonna fight your fucking ass.
You're playing touch butt with that dork in the park.
There's a little snake in the grass.
Hey, I'm not surprised, motherfuckers.
No forget Jesus, people.
I'd like to take this chance to apologize to absolutely nobody.
Hey, pussy, are you still there?
I'm back.
Who the fuck is that guy? Break out the red panties. We're rich, baby.
I would like to introduce.
Welcome to the MMA for Money Show, episode 81. I'm your host, Mike Copenhaver, at Don't Cope Just Win on Twitter. I'm joined by your co-host and the producer of the MMA for Money Show, T, at Saints_504 on Twitter. How you doing today, T?
I'm doing good, man. Glad to be here.
Nice. And, stoked to be with all you guys here in the chat. So shout out where you're from if you get a chance, and we'll get our best to interact with all of you. We're going to review last week's UFC. It was quite the exciting show, UFC Vegas 21, Edwards versus Muhammad. Right off the bat, man, there was just great finishes, and some full of controversy. I'll get straight to it. Straight off the bat, we're going to get to my bet. It was Matt Selzenberger. And, man, I cannot tell you how happy I was. 16-second knockout, absolutely destroyed Jason Witt. I mean, you can't call it any better than I did last week on the show for you guys trying to make money. I told you last week that Takashi Sato folded Jason Witt like a lawn chair, and it looked rather easy. And that if my boy Matt Selzenberger got in there with the clinch or even hit him one time, he was going to just lay that dude out, man. So +1 unit for the MMA for Money show right off the bat, baby. How'd you like that, T?
It doesn't get any easier than that, dude. It's just crazy. We watched the fight. We watched the clips before we wanted to bet, and that was your bet. You called it, but that dude's chin, he doesn't have a chin. Like, there's no chin. It went exactly like we thought, So awesome.
Definitely. And I want to say a happy St. Patrick's Day to all our Irish fans out there. I got some Irish blood in me, so that's why you see a little bit of my Irish top hat and my Irish shirt. I'm gonna rock it to the fullest. Shout out to Super Tipstar, one of our MMA for Money team members, all the way from Ireland. Absolutely love you, dude, and pleasure to shout out, share our heritage together. I want to shout some of our commentators out in the chat. We got Takara over there. Thank you for joining. Our Miss Jackie Girl, Jamie Birch. We got our sponsor Ryan Richardson, the man himself. Thank you so much. One of the best fishermen in the world. Make sure to go give himself a follow. Kick your bass. Absolutely awesome material. And then we got
the man.
Wait
to go fish with Ryan, man.
Oh, I know, dude. He's just a monster. Showing me pictures of all the fishing that he does. And then we got the man himself, MMA for Money Prime Time himself in here in the chat. So a pleasure to have him always on board with us while we go live. So after Matt Selzenberger, these women's, the low blows, bro. I mean, I don't know what is going on, man. I mean, Courtney Casey and JJ Aldrich, man. I mean, they were going back and forth and, having a fight. But, dude, one time Courtney got a low blow and she acted like it was, it was a guy getting just absolutely devastated in his groin, bro.
My question is, should a woman's fight even be allowed to be stopped for a low blow? Because I don't even understand it. Like, I don't. Am I missing something? Or
because I'm sexist and biased, I guess right now I would have to delegate to the women in the chat and the fans and ask them how it feels to be kicked in the groin. I don't know. I know for a man it absolutely sucks. But when you see these women act like it was like their balls got crushed, it's so funny.
If we didn't have balls, would they stop the fight at all for a kick? That's what I was saying. I would think a kick in the ribs would hurt worse than a kick in the penis. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
but
no,
I don't know, man.
I feel you, man. I mean, it was, it is what it is. But next, I'm just touching, some of the fights that I thought were fun on last week's card. I'm not going to go through each and every one, otherwise we would have a huge long review show. But it was Jourdain versus Rojo. Holy shit, dude. I mean, if you listened last week on the show, I gave Rojo some props for his submission ability. Oh, dude, he was just going to war with Jourdain. I mean, he had Jourdain looking pretty bad in round one. But I mean, Jourdain, the savage that he is, dude, he was looking for a finish from the get-go. If I would have known that, man, I mean, I probably would have thrown something on the inside the distance prop, but his money line was still a little hefty. He finally got the win in the end. But man, did you see that knockout that he ended that dude with?
I tried to grab him live, dude. ITD live, it was like plus almost 300 at one point, but I couldn't get it in. They took it down on me. But that's the breaks.
Well, so and then next, another thing, you guys got to follow me on Twitter at Don't Cope Just Win. I give out my bets on the show on Tuesday night when we go live. You got to remember, a lot of stuff happens during the week during these shows. Between the weigh-ins, controversies, little tidbits here and there. So if you followed me on Twitter on my podcast, I was all over Martinez. I thought that Martinez was going to beat Davey Grant, and had everything to give to him. But later in the week, I saw at the weigh-ins when Martinez, stood up next to Davey Grant. Oh man, bro, I got tinglies in the back of my neck. Me and shout out to Die Hard podcast. We both instantly we knew right away that something was wrong, and that our Martinez pick we had to just abandon ship. And I'm glad that we did. So if you followed my Twitter, I threw a bet out on Grant, and he was at plus 260. And man, dude, he cashed that bet at plus 260. So that was another win for the MMA for Money show, going 2-0. For plus 360 for the night. So if you tuned in to the show and to the Twitter, you got some W's and some money for your bank account. But did you see that fight between Grant and Martinez?
Yes, I had Grant by KO plus 800, half a unit. I loved that one.
Yeah, dude.
Loved it. I had my submission too. But I only bet that because you told me to, bro. So
I know. What's funny is I bet Grant by submission too, and also at money line. And I was man, dude. I kind of knew that. I was like, man, inside the distance, you might as well just hit that one. And I was like, no, he ain't gonna knock out Martinez, bro. Martinez striking's too good. And then boom, sure as shit, man. Davey Grant fucking just ends that dude's night and knocks his ass out cold. It was absolutely amazing, and after the Selzenberger knockout, and then you have Rojo getting knocked out, and then you have Grant friggin' knocking the dude out. It was amazing, man. The finishes that night.
Yeah, it was a great night, man.
Yeah, so then the next knockout that I want to get into is holy shit, man. Dan Ige versus Gavin Tucker. Two Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belts, absolutely amazing mixed martial artists. I was going back and forth a bunch of times between Tucker and Ige and Tucker and Ige. The fact that Ige trained with Khabib was really what I liked the most. I can't recall exactly who I finally flipped and flopped back to, but I to be honest, I probably said Tucker in the end. But I was sure shit wrong. Ige starched his ass so fast. I believe it was 16 seconds, but it seemed a lot faster than that.
Yeah, that one was a quickie.
Did you see that one, T?
Yeah, that's about as fast as you can do it. Besides just straight walking out and cleaning them like Masvidal did to Askren,
Yeah, and it wouldn't be the UFC, I guess, without some controversy. Going from the Aljo versus Jan fight where they stripped Jan of the title for the illegal knee to Aljo, which definitely was a lot worse. But Eric Anders, man, versus Darren Stewart. To be honest, I had Darren Stewart. I didn't think that Eric Anders was gonna be enough for Darren Stewart, but I was sure as shit wrong, and I was very, very glad too because I bet Darren Stewart personally on the money line. And watching the fight, man, Eric Anders looked amazing. I mean,
I'm so pissed about this.
Yeah, his athletic. We'll get into that. His athletic ability and his takedowns. His D1 football skills. They really showed in this fight. He just kept pushing Stewart against the fence and taking him down and just kind of just breaking his will. And then eventually, he finally, he basically had Stewart basically finished on his feet.
It was done. It was over, bro.
I know, man. And then my boy Herb Dean, he's getting a lot of shit right now. Shout out to my boy Herb Dean, Jason Herzog, two of the best referees ever. I think that being a former medic on the ambulance, you make life-saving decisions. Things flash before your eyes, and sometimes you make decisions a little delayed than you'd like to. So to give him the credit and the benefit of the doubt, I think that if you guys have never made a split-second life-saving decision or been in a situation like that, it's a little bit easier said than done, separating someone or stopping a fight. And so either way, but
you just like Herb Dean, bro.
I love Herb Dean. Fuck
he
yeah.
wanted that dude to get jelly leg. That dude was done. It was like 30 seconds of that shit. Man, I'm just mad.
Yeah. So Eric Anders, Eric Anders had him Stewart finished, dude. He was done, man. And he got dropped down to a knee, and then Anders, I don't know what he was thinking, bro. Like, I understand you already got him killed, but dude, why did you throw the knee, dude?
He wasn't thinking. I think it was just in the flow, and I think he thought he was about to get up, but all he had to do was throw uppercuts, bro. That's all he had to do was just 4 or 5 more uppercuts, and the dude would have just dropped.
Yeah,
on the knee,
it's frustrating, man, because Eric Anders looked really good for the first time. Finally surprised me, showing and showcasing the talent that I a lot of people saw, and so it is what it is, man. But then we're gonna review the main event. Edwards versus Bilal. What can you say, man? It was so boring and dumb after what happened, man. I mean, like I've waited a long time to see Leon Edwards fight again. He finally gets a chance to go in there. He pokes the guy one time. He gets a warning. And then, I don't even know how you even poked Bilal that way. I don't know how your thumb got in. Is that his thumb that bent down like that, or his index finger? I don't know how it happened, but dude, it was terrible, man. It really ruined the flow of the night, and it leaves a bad taste in my mouth for Leon Edwards, who is a really, really good athlete. Bilal Edwards is a savage, man. I felt so bad for him when you heard him scream out in agony, dude. Holy shit, dude. We're talking about pro athletes, dude. And being my brother War Machine, and I've seen him break down whether he's won or lost after a fight. It's really, really weird when you see these big tough guys start crying. I really start feeling for them and their emotions. You could really see all the years and the time that Bilal's put in and the emotions. He loves the sport. So shout out to Bilal Muhammad. I wish you the best. I hope your eye heals as fast as possible so that you could get back into the mix, because you are a true talent. I think you do deserve a rematch, but I feel like Leon Edwards is going to be running scared and going to go and do something else.
That's such a bitch move. He has to fight him again. Like, you can't not fight it. And Bilal was on a run. I think that's why he was so upset. I think he was more upset about the ending of the fight than he was about getting poked in the eye. And luckily, it wasn't as bad as I thought. It was horrible. I was expecting his eye to be going. The
way that it looked, bro, I was like, man, this looks like a horror movie, and this dude lost his eyeballs. To be specific, it was I think it's Red Dragon, The Silence of the Lambs, Hannibal. I think it's Red Dragons. I think it's the other. That's one of the 3 of the 4, or one of the 4 movies. Either way, the dude puts glass in his eyeballs to see the reflection of the people he kills. He's a freaking weirdo, dude. So that reminded me of Bilal's eye. He had his eye, all cut up, and it was bleeding. And I really thought maybe he possibly lost an eye, but thankfully he didn't, and he's doing well. And shout out to him for that. So all in all, it was a great night for the MMAforMoney team. I couldn't ask for much better to cash 2 bets and cash $360 for my fans. If you guys bet $100 on each bet, you pretty much what you cash there. So shout out to the MMAforMoney team. So that's pretty much it for the UFC Vegas 21, and now we will get into the UFC Vegas 22. And we're going to start out with the prelims here, and let's see.
Oh, look like Mike disconnected on us. Probably be back in here. But yeah, we're about to get into Vegas 22 this weekend on Saturday. First match will be Bergchek and Eduardo. But let's hold off for a second, see if Mike will come back in here before I can continue on with the card and whatnot. Hopefully didn't lose power, but I guess we'll find out. No, there he is.
Yeah, sorry, guys. I don't know what happened, but I got booted for a second. So back to the beginning of the prelim. So we have Anthony Bergchek, former UFC veteran, and versus Johnny Eduardo. At the time of writing this, we had Anthony Bergchek was a -105, and Johnny Eduardo was +160. The odds obviously have changed since then. This is going to be really weird. I can't really give the best lean on this one. I don't want to. I like Anthony Bergchek, and I don't want to say nothing really bad about him. But I just feel like this is a bad spot for him, and Johnny Eduardo is just a little bit too tough standing, and I think the standing is going to pay off for Johnny Eduardo, and he's going to end up winning that fight. So that's my pick, Johnny Eduardo, for that one. Next up on the fight list, we have this is going to be my first bet of the night. It's going to be Bruno Silva versus JP Bays. It looks like Bays, but everyone's saying Bays, so I'm going to be going with that one. Man, this is going to be a really, really, really exciting fight. JP Bays, former Greco-Roman wrestling champion from South Africa, really, really talented, and just, man, his scrambling ability, his suplexes. I just really, really like the kid. He's 9-2. He's just really well-rounded. His striking's good. His jiu-jitsu and wrestling. I just think he's going to give Bruno Silva absolute fits here. The line has shifted. The people have been buying Bruno Silva, which I absolutely love. At the time we wrote this, JP Bays was -185, and last time I checked on 5 Dimes, he was -145. So that's a gift for our fans here. So I'm going to be putting 1.45 units down on JP Bays. I just feel like he, is just superior absolutely everywhere. Bruno Silva, a Brazilian dude who actually doesn't use his jiu-jitsu, coming off of 2 losses. I just, he gets bullied and he gets wrestled around, and I think that this is a perfect spot for JP Bays to showcase him. I think the UFC is setting himself up here for a showcase win. I absolutely love the kid. I think he's super talented, and so this is why it'll be my first bet of the night. And so it's a 1.45 units, JP Bays to absolutely dominate Bruno Silva.
Let's get it.
Let's go, baby. Next up on the list, if you listen to the MMA4Money show, you absolutely know that I love low-class women in MMA, and that's kind of what we're going to walk right into. It's Julia Avila versus Julia Stolarenko. Julia is -360 at the time of writing this, and it's +300 on Julia Stolarenko. Julia is definitely favored here. She should win this fight. I feel like her striking is meaner. I feel like she doesn't flop on her back like Stolarenko likes to do and go for just random submissions. But man, -360 is very, very steep, man. For low-class women's MMA, I just don't recommend this type of money line on someone like that. I'm gonna go with Julia Avila to win this fight, but it's just very iffy, man. I just don't quite trust them. I actually kind of like possibly the chance for Avila to finish this fight. So if you get under 2.5, I think that might be the best spot here. Normally, I don't say women finish fights, but I think that Avila could possibly do that here. Next up on the prelims, we have Jesse Strader, who's +500 at the time of writing this. He's going to be facing off versus Montel Jackson, -700. Montel Jackson, super, super long and strong, has very, very good striking. But if you look, man, he's got the chicken legs that you just won't believe, dude.
Damn, he really does.
Dude, his chicken legs are so bad, bro. And I mean, I'm not hating. I got chicken legs too, so I can say that. But dude, his legs, bro. I think that it's really gonna be a detriment to him one day. Jesse Strader, don't get me wrong, this guy is not a hero and not the guy you want to throw all your money down on. But he does have some power. He does have a good lower leg kick. And if he can get that off early versus Montel Jackson, he could possibly damage, that his lower calf and ruin the mobility of the longer reached fighter on Montel Jackson. But like I said, it's just the money lines were vicious, bro. Like I can't say you should ever lay that money down on Montel Jackson. I think that Strader has a slight chance in hell here. So I'm gonna literally go dog or pass on this one. I feel like Strader, like I said, if he can get off the leg kicks early, he could possibly get the mobility of Montel Jackson. But I'm not saying he's going to win this fight. I just think that I would never lay -700 down. I wouldn't even bet on Montel Jackson on inside distance. It's just too much, bro. It's gross. He's not that good to warrant that, man. So, but that's my opinion. So take it for what it is. Next up here, we're gonna have Roman Doldiz. It was -135 at the time of writing this versus Trevin Giles. Man, this is going to be super interesting. Right off of the bat, I liked Roman Doldiz. I instantly wanted to bet him, and I don't know if that was good or bad. So I went in and I started researching, and it's hard for me to just be like, oh, Trevin Giles is that bad, and this guy's going to be able to walk in here and just absolutely dominate him, you know. But the thing is that it just Roman Valdez is long, you know. He's going to be stronger striking, but Trevin Giles' jiu-jitsu and his wrestling is pretty good too, man. So I don't have the best lean on this one because I'm just flopping back and forth. So I can't really give you the best bet on that one. But if I had to pick right now, I'm going to stick with my gut, and I'm going to go with Roman Valdez because I feel like he has the more power standing and that he could possibly get that off. But don't be surprised if Trevin Giles doesn't take him down and wrestle him for 3 rounds and put on a clinic. So let's see. Next up, we have Grant Dawson, -200 versus Leonardo Santos, who's +170. Man, dude, Grant Dawson, really good mixed martial artist, but more or less ground and pound. His jiu-jitsu, wrestling, ground and pound is his thing. I don't really trust his striking like his straight striking, and that's what really like throws me off with Grant Dawson, especially at a -200 versus a guy like Leonardo Santos. Leonardo Santos' only fallback right here for me is his age. I mean, I believe he's 40 years old.
41
years old. But dude, on a 7-fight win streak, he's beaten Roman Bogdanov, who's 10-0, Stevie Ray, who's I actually liked a lot. He's beat Kevin Lee, Adriano Martins. I mean, I think this line is super, super disrespectful to Leonardo Santos. I literally was so close to betting this and throwing a unit on Leonardo Santos on the show. I might later in the week if the weigh-ins go well and Leonardo looks good and Grant looks inferior, or I see some edge, I might throw down the 1 unit on Leonardo Santos. I really believe that other than the age factor, that he's going to fight for your money, and it's going to be an absolute wonderful chance for an underdog to cash here. I'm going to take a break real fast and shout out some more people out in the chat. I'd like to shout out Thamer for joining us here. Also, Miss Lynn 0129, thank you for joining us. Always a pleasure when you jump in the house. So yeah, like I said, Leonardo Santos, I believe that he's the dog, and I'm going to pick him to roll there. I just feel like that they're disrespecting Leonardo Santos, and we're going to see it. So we'll see how that goes. All right, now next up is going to be my next bet for the night, and man, I'm gonna apologize right now. I don't normally bet. I don't like to bet women's MMA very often. It's only when I feel a really strong lean. And I'm sorry what I'm about to say, Marion Renault. You know, you're a great teacher. You're a great lady, okay? But you're getting old. Your wrestling sucks. You know, you're a brown belt, black belt jiu-jitsu. That's your best accolade. I'm proud of you for it, you know, but your wrestling's terrible. Your striking is terrible. And, you know, if Macy Chiasson gets you in the clinch, she is going to absolutely devastate you with knees and elbows and strikes. She's way, way longer than Marion Renault. I just think it's an absolute bad day for Macy Chiasson's 5'11" with a 72-inch reach. Marion Renault is 5'6" with a 68-inch reach, and some of these stats are inflated, so you can't even go off that. Marion Renault is 43 years old, folks. 43. She's coming off 3 losses. I mean, what are we betting on here, dude? Like, she's done. It's over. She lost to Yana Kunitskaya. That's all I got to say. So I'm betting on Macy Chiasson here. I'm dropping the money. I have to, folks. It's got to happen. I'm putting down the -205, -210 at 5 dimes for Macy Chiasson to absolutely devastate Marion Renault. Like I said, it's not a normal thing, but I'm putting down the 2.1 units on Macy Chiasson to showcase her skills. I think this is a spot where the UFC is just doing her a favor and just giving her a layup. So that will be the second bet of the night, and I can't wait to watch it go down. Hello, Mel B. Welcome to the show. Nice to see you here. Let's see what we got here. All right. Next up on the card, that was the last one for the prelims, and so we'll jump to the main card, take a little break, take a drink real fast. All you guys have a beer. The next up, first fight on the card, Shayna Baszler, -350 versus Montserrat Ruiz, +290. Man, the price tag once again just shocks me right away off for Bays. But then you go back and you watch her striking. She is mean, bro. Dude, she is so aggressive, and she comes with power and anger. Like she is. I think I believe she looks very much like Tisha Torres, so I name her the Big Tornado instead of the tiny tornado that Tisha Torres is. She's a little bit bigger, and man, she comes with fire. I see why she's -3, close to 3. It's just getting it's getting scary. Montserrat Ruiz, I mean, I don't want to get too disrespectful. Just go look at her body. Go look at the way that she carries herself, man. She looks like she's more of a trying to be an IG model or a pinup girl than she's trying to be a fighter. I just don't think that she's on the level of Shayna Baszler here. I believe that they're setting Shayna Baszler up here to absolutely roll, and I really think that she can smash and finish Ruiz. If you can bet her TKO KO, I really think that she could do it, and that might be the only way to get any value out of her. So, and I think that she might be related to my other bet. So it's kind of funny if they're both Bays. I believe that might be his wife. So I'm not 100%.
His wife, really?
Yeah, it might be, but I mean, just with the chances. So I don't want to talk out of my ace. So next up on the card, we got Max Griffin, -165 versus Song Keenan at +145. Oh, man, this is going to be a really, really good fight. I automatically wanted to bet Song Keenan right off the bat. It was just like immediately feels. And, I don't know what it was, if it's a little bit of dislike for Max Griffin, or I just really do like Keenan Song. But I just feel like that Max Griffin is blah, dude. I mean, his last 4 fights, he's lost 2 of them. Last 6 fights, he's lost 4 of them. It gets worse. So, like, he's not getting better. He's peaked. The UFC is not here to let this guy win. I really believe that Keenan Song is the real deal in this matchup. I feel like he's just tougher. He's grittier. He's going to be there inside of Max Griffin's face. And as long as he can, I feel like he can stuff the takedowns, that he can really put on a storm here and be the assassin that he is and win this fight. He's on a 2-fight win streak. And the dude is just mean, bro. Like, I absolutely love it. He finished Calvin Potter in his last fight and looked amazing doing it in round 1. So this is definitely going to be a really, really exciting fight to watch. So next up on the card, we have our boy, Gustavo Lopez, MMAforMoney's own, one of the best guests that we have, one of the most frequent too. I can't say enough good things about Gustavo Lopez. When he fought Merab Dvalishvili, and the way that he powered through that on short notice and just absolutely looked amazing on the feet and even on the ground, he never gave up. His jiu-jitsu game is really well-rounded. He's got the Performance Institute working in Vegas. He's at Extreme Couture. He trains with Joe Benavidez. He trains with Stamen. He's training with Aljo. Man, he's really just, I feel like, peaking in prime, man. It's weird though. He's got a +170 versus the newcomer Adrian Yanez. Adrian Yanez, man, this kid, I automatically I wanted to just talk shit because I know Gustavo Lopez, but as an analyst, I had to look and when you watch Adrian Yanez's striking, I see why they liked him and he possibly could have some high hopes. I just feel like they're overvaluing this kid here versus a guy like Gustavo Lopez, who's already been here in the UFC and put in 3+ rounds, 4+ rounds. I feel like he's fought guys like Merab. If Merab fought Adrian Yanez, I would bet Merab all day. And so I don't know why this price tag is what it is right here. So I'm going to be waiting for – I'm most likely going to bet this later in the week, so watch my Twitter. I'm waiting for the Adrian Yanez money to even get even heftier because I feel like it's going to happen, and I'm going to be sniping Gustavo Lopez for a 1-unit shot. I feel like his jiu-jitsu – if Adrian Yanez can't get his striking off, he's gonna be in for a really, really tough day. But this is my fight of the night. If you guys love mixed martial arts, this fight right here is going to be the one where you're going to see just amazing striking, really good jiu-jitsu and transition and scramble ability. But we're going to be backing our boy Gustavo Lopez this week. If you missed the show, the special with Gustavo Lopez, make sure to go back and tune into the show and see the little tidbits that he gave us of some inside tips of his training camp and stuff like that. Always a pleasure to have him here. So Like I said, Gustavo Lopez, we're rolling with you as always. Next up on the card, Dontel Mays plus 185 at the time of writing this versus Tai Tuivasa, negative 225. Tai Tuivasa, everyone loves the Shui. The guy's a character, a lot of fun. He's over there just cracking jokes, but he's trained with Mark Hunt for a long time. His stand-up has been pretty fierce, but he as much fun as he likes to have in real life, just joking around, he likes to joke around in his professional career and just not take things seriously. And that's what just kind of irks me with him. I really believe that this is a spot where the UFC is setting up Tai Tuivasa to lose. After a win, when he beat the Skyscraper, I mean, no disrespect to the Skyscraper, but he was on a fall anyways. So that building was imploding. Dontel Mays here, 8-4, doesn't look good on the record, but he's 29 years old. He's young, 6'6", 81-inch reach, man. I really feel like the guy can give Tai Tuivasa a 3-round war, or is possibly has heavier hands than him. Tai Tuivasa has only won one of his last 4 fights, folks. He's not to be favorited right now. That just doesn't make sense to me. I strongly urge anyone who wants to bet an underdog that possibly could win. He's definitely Dontel Mays is one of them. I possibly thought about betting him, but I don't like betting heavyweights because we all know one punch and the whole thing just ends. So, it is what it is. So I'm going to go with Dontel Mays there to upset Tai Tuivasa. But, don't be surprised if Tai Tuivasa hits him in the back of the head and, the whole thing ends, instantly. So, all righty. Now we have the co-main event of the night. And actually, this is another great fight and another one where it's, dude, I could bet underdogs this whole card almost, man. It's crazy. I could bet Gustavo Lopez. I could bet Dontel Mays. I could bet Riddell. I mean, I could bet Leonardo Santos. Bro, it's crazy the list that it goes on here, man. I mean, it's nuts. But I don't know if it's me being crazy, wanting to fire like crazy. But, I mean, I'd like these plus money fights this weekend. And this one right here, I like a lot. Brad Riddell. I've said it a few times on the podcast that he's a City Kickboxing's best striker, just straight strike kickboxing. I'm a big Israel Adesanya fan. I think he's the all-around best mixed martial artist striker. But I think Brad Riddell's striking is just he's just so talented, man. He's going off against Gregor Gillespie, who's negative 235 after being ghosted by Kevin Lee. I mean, please go back and watch the knockout loss that he took to Kevin Lee. You could see his soul leave his body after he got kicked. I swear to God, he gets kicked. His soul leaves his body. He drops back against the cage, and the only thing that saved him was the cage, bro. Great wrestler, amazing wrestler, American D1 wrestler. I can't say enough good things when it comes to that. But I lost my ass betting him versus Kevin Lee. I really thought that Gregor Gillespie was it that day, and I got proved wrong real fast, man. And today is not the fucking day I'm gonna be backing Gregor Gillespie. Brad Riddell, if Kevin Lee can absolutely starch Gregor, Brad Riddell can do it easier. I'm telling you, bro. His striking is absolutely amazing. Brad Riddell's already fought a bunch of really, really good wrestlers and is already well-versed. He knows that people don't want to strike with him. So he's been just training nonstop his takedown defense, his wrestling, and his grappling to improve the fact that, so that people can't take him down and he can get off his game. He's going to smash Gregor Gillespie. Another one where I just want to bet, man. The line is crazy. Plus 195 for Brad Riddell. Give me it all fucking day, dude. Because we're trying to, win you guys money and keep a professional, show going here for you. I'm not firing, all over the place. I don't, normally you don't bet a 195 underdog very often, It's not very often they're going to win. But today, I feel like he's going to win. I feel like Brad Riddell's striking. He's going to be able to, he might get taken down once, but after he gets up the second time, after the second one that fails or whatever it may be, Brad Riddell is going to get off his game. And I think he's going to absolutely just starch Gregor Gillespie again. Like I said, go back, watch his soul leave his body. And he literally had an out-of-body experience. He has to be remembering that. And Brad Riddell is going to give him deja vu. So mark my words on that. We'll be back here to talk about that KO win. Next up, we got the main event of the evening. We got Derek Brunson plus 145 versus Kevin Holland negative 165. Dude, Kevin Holland, we're talking, dude, just fight any minute, Mr. Cowboy Cerrone lately, but actually wins all of his fights. It's just amazing what he does on short notice and what he did to some of our legends, man. I can't believe the win streak that this kid's on. And Derek Brunson, great wrestler himself, but his striking is his biggest flaw. He has sharpened it up lately in the past where he doesn't rush in as much, leaving his chin open. But that chin is always open, to be hit once he enters in the pocket. And I feel like a guy like Kevin Lee is super athletic and just he's the real deal, man. His jiu-jitsu game is the real deal. I feel like he's gonna win this fight. The negative 165 price tag is warranted. He's going to roll here. And so I'm going to go with Kevin Holland by finish here. I think he's going to just keep that Holland train rolling. So, yeah, man. So it's going to be a really exciting card. So I guess I'll review my bets right now. It's going to be 1.45 units on JP Bays. And then there's going to be 2.1 units on Macy Chiasson. Both of them, I believe, are going to absolutely dominate and get us the W. And then now we'll get into our DraftKings since I didn't really get a touch on it. DraftKings is really weird this week. There was some really big favorite salaries that I just didn't want to touch. It was one of the I'm new to it too, so I actually had a leftover salary. My six-person lineup for this weekend is going to be Macy Chiasson at 8,700, Leonardo Santos at 7,600, JP Bays at 8,300. Gustavo Lopez at 7,400, Kevin Holland at 8,400, and Cheyenne Bays at 9,100. That leaves you $500. If you don't like a couple of my picks, you can shuffle them all around and do what you like to do. But that's going to be my first lineup for the MMA for Money show as the week goes on and the weigh-ins get popping and I see little edges here and there. I'm gonna probably fire on something else, so make sure you stay tuned to the MMA for Money show Twitter. You make sure you stay tuned to the my Twitter at Don't Cope Just Win. Also follow T at Saints_504 on Twitter. And like I said, we're just stoked to be here, winning fights for you guys, winning 2 fights last week, and just keeping the role for the MMA for Money team. It's just awesome to keep this train going. So, what about T? What crypto coin do you want to talk about this week?
Let me think. I didn't prep for one, but I could throw one off the top of my head.
Well,
we can talk about Stellar.
That's right, XLM. Right, XLM Stellar is a great investment right now. It hasn't ran yet in this little run that's gone in cryptocurrency. It's XLM is the ticker. Me and T both feel like it's super undervalued and should have a run here soon.
It's sitting around 40 cents, and it ran a little bit versus the U.S. dollar like everything did. I mean, Bitcoin's up to 60,000, but if you look at the verse BTC chart, it hasn't started yet, and when that starts, it should go up a lot in U.S. dollar value. I don't even pay attention to those charts. I just look at the Bitcoin charts personally. Yeah. So.
Nice. Yeah, like all of our investments, like I said, even Ocean that we talked about last week, that started a little run. But if it's not too late to jump on that, if you go download the Voyager app and you put in your promo code MIC625, you can get 25 in free Bitcoin for trading 100. I really believe that you guys need to invest 5 to 10% of your salary each and every month. It will change your life in the years to come. There's no one else that's going to help you do anything but you, man. I came from a $13 an hour EMT salary to, now I work for the best union in Hollywood that, pays me a lot more. But besides that, my cryptocurrency, my stocks like Tesla, early entry, DraftKings, other things. A new stock that I just came out that I bought was Roblox. It's a video game that a lot of kids play. It's one of the only
kids
free.
Love that game.
Everyone's kids love that game. So, my kid's always asking for Robux, and I'm tired of paying for Robux. So I decided to, invest in the company. I believe it was at $73 today. It started at $70 when it opened last week, jumped up to $79, and I got in at $71 when it dipped. and now it's kind of climbing back up. But Kathy Wood from ARK Investments, she's one of the best investors in the world. I follow a lot of her investments because her and I see eye to eye. I bought DraftKings before she even fired. I fired at $50 and she fired at $59. So I really like when Kathy Wood from ARK Investments fires. Really, really brilliant, intelligent lady. And so she purchased Roblox at $70-ish. So if she's firing, she sees a potential in the company. So Roblox is my stock of the week. XLM coin for cryptocurrency will be the coin of the week in that sense. And we can't thank you guys all enough for tuning in to the show. I know that things have changed a little bit, but we're just trying to get you the best content possible and give you a lean and the reads on these fights, so you could make the best choice that you can. I'd like to shout out Pablo from the Haps team for being here and for all the work that he's done for us, for every single broadcaster. Peter Bittner, David Newman, all you guys are just absolutely amazing. Lucia, the list goes on for how many people have helped the MMA for Money show grow. We've also reached a point where on Haps where we can accept monthly sponsorships for as little as $1 a month, which is super exciting. So if you guys want to jump on board and support the MMA for Money show as we grow and dominate into the future, because we're going to be growing quite steadily and rapidly coming soon. We got some really exciting cryptocurrency stuff coming via Prime Time himself. So just like I said, follow the MMA for Money show. Follow on Twitter. Follow Don't Cope Just Win on Twitter. Saints_504 is my boy T, the producer of the MMA for Money show. And like I said every week, I appreciate each and every one of you. Like, subscribe, and just interact with us each week. And with that, let's roll.